Hello, my name is Lucas. About 6 weeks ago, I made the difficult decision to temporarily step away from my job as a cashier at a gas station. The aftermath of a traumatic robbery left me grappling with haunting images and sounds, the memory of my coworker drowning in her own blood echoing in my mind. My mental state spiraled downward rapidly, and I found myself standing on the precipice of despair, contemplating ending it all. Clutching my father's gun, I felt the weight of despair pressing upon me. But then, in a moment of unexpected interruption, a video game slipped from its shelf, crashing to the floor with a resounding thud. I picked up the game and read the title, Bilton's Barbershop. I couldn't help but wonder what I was looking at. The cover of the DVD case depicted 3 characters, 2 wearing black aprons, and one in the center wearing a red apron, and a red and white striped bowler hat. Despite the colorful title, their expressions seemed remarkably uninterested. Tears still streaming, I slid the disc into my computer, and the 7 Dot Games intro began to play. My crying ceased as the familiar logo graced the screen. 7 Dot Games, the masterminds behind Final Fight, my cherished childhood game. I pulled out my notebook and began to write. The red apron character appeared on screen and uttered, "Hello there, fellow barber. You seem in need of a job." Those words shocked within me, bringing back memories of my coworker's death. But then, to my surprise, he continued, "Great news, I'm hiring." He reached up and pulled down a lift cord, causing the background to part like stage curtains. As they revealed the new scene, I couldn't help but chuckle. It looked like a real pixelized image of a strip mall, with the text Bilton's Barbershop clumsily edited onto one of the establishments. As Bilton, the red apron barber, introduced himself, I couldn't resist muttering under my breath, in a sarcastic tone, "What a big surprise." Bilton proceeded to introduce his other 2 employees, Barbara, a sharp-witted girl who goes by Barb, and Wyatt, a bald Canadian guy who punctuates every conversation with and answers to Razor. I couldn't help but find Razor's introduction amusing, reminiscing about my encounters with countless Wyatts during my time in Canada. Once the introductions were complete, Bilton proudly showed me my very own office space, a comically terrible cubicle covered in graffiti. Just as I took in the sight, a perfectly timed foghorn sound effect played, adding to the absurdity of the moment. As I explored the barbershop, I had the opportunity to interact with the characters, each offering unique mini-games. When I approached Razor, he greeted me with his trademark and a request for assistance. "I need help sweeping up these leaves, he said, gesturing towards a pile in the corner. "If you lend a hand, I'll reward you with my piece of the golden scissors, As the minigame began, I found myself tasked with cleaning up maple leaves scattered across the floor. Armed with a broom and a trash can, I set to work, sweeping the leaves into the bin as Razor instructed. It took only a matter of seconds to complete the task, earning a commendation from Razor. "Nice, Don't tell anyone, but I'm actually from Vermont," he confessed with a wink. His admission was actually pretty funny and made me laugh. After collecting his piece of the golden scissors, I made my way over to Barb to see what challenges she had in store. As I approached Barb, she wasted no time in issuing a demanding question. "Hey, I need work done ASAP. Are you in or are you out?" With a sense of urgency in her tone, she initiated the minigame, promising her piece of the golden scissors if you win. The game presented 3 options: scissors, hair dye, and a shaving razor. Customers began to enter, each in need of a specific service. With practice, I quickly honed my skills, efficiently attending to each client's needs. As the last customer left satisfied, I awaited Barb's response, but she remained eerily silent, her gaze fixed upon me. Unease settled in as I muttered under my breath, "What the hell is happening?" Suddenly, Barb's expression twisted grotesquely, her face melting before my eyes, accompanied by the unsettling sound of a blender nearly making me soil my pants. As the screen suddenly switched into darkness following the unsettling encounter with Barb, Bilton the barber unexpectedly popped on screen, reminiscent of the animation in the intro. However, his appearance had drastically changed. His pupils stretched vertically, his unnaturally wide closed mouth smile, and his limbs were elongated. My heart pounding in my chest, I felt the blood drain from my face as the chilling message, "I can see you, Lucas," ominously materialized on the screen. Fear spread through me, and without thinking, I screamed, "What do you want?" Bilton the barber remained silent, his gaze piercing through the screen, his unnerving appearance sending shivers down my spine. Slowly, he extended a long, slender finger and pointed downwards. Trembling, I followed his gaze and saw my dad's gun lying at my feet. In a haze of panic and despair, tears streaming down my face, I snatched up the gun and pressed it against my head. "Is this what you want?" I screamed, my voice cracking with emotion. Bilton's expression remained unchanged as he silently shook his head in response, his eerie demeanor casting dread over the room. I then pointed the gun at the computer monitor, and Bilton just nodded. With trembling hands, I fired multiple shots, shattering the screen into a pile of glass. Collapsing to the floor, I sobbed uncontrollably, burying my face in my hands. The room spun around me, a vortex of fear and despair swallowing me whole. But when I looked up, Bilton was there, his presence casting a dreadful shadow over me. Before I could react, he lunged, his hands closing around my throat, cutting off my air supply. Gasping for breath, I struggled against his relentless grip, darkness closing in around me. I was then rushed to the ER, where doctors worked frantically to stabilize me. It took 2 agonizing days for me to regain consciousness. As I lay on the hospital bed, hooked up to monitors and IV drips, I couldn't shake the feeling of Bilton's icy grip around my throat. Despite the medical attention, a sense of unease lingered, a nagging doubt that what had transpired was more than just a figment of my imagination. After I shared the contents of my notebook and what I remembered with the doctors, who suggested that my experience might be due to a likely robbery and PTSD episode mixing in some way. But when the police searched my father's house, nothing was found missing. Despite what everyone has been saying, it all seemed so real, so tangible, as if it were a nightmare that lingered. What could have happened? Reddit update. Today, I received a package in the mail containing a new computer monitor and a golden pair of scissors. I don't know if my friends are messing with me, but I'm scared that he's still out there. Update. Multiple homicides have been reported in my city, all with the same description of the murder. A tall, lanky male Caucasian who has a brown mustache, vertical pupils, and a large, horrifying smile.